Greetings and salutations. Marcus Melnick with Firearm Mentor here. At the end of the video, I have a very exciting announcement, but before I do that, I would like to explain a story that happened to me yesterday. I was at the Social, which is a nightclub in Wheeling, for a vendor expo. And we were there an hour ahead of it opening, and we introduced ourselves to the people around us. And I turned around and I'm setting up my table to sell firearm training and books and all that sort of thing. And behind me, I heard a grunt. It almost sounded like someone was gagging for a minute. And I turned and I saw a guy, one of the other vendors there. He clutched his chest like this, grunted, and fell face first into the ground. And then he had almost a 1 minute long seizure. So myself and one other individual who had just had some medical training jumped into action. We rolled him on his side while he was seizing. He had chipped or broke a tooth. The tooth was a portion of the tooth was on the ground. There was a ton of blood, not a ton. There was a little bit of blood coming from his mouth. I'm guessing he bit himself, possibly. So we rolled him on his side, and I learned a couple weeks ago in the medical class that I took from Plan, Prepare, Do. So if you have medical needs for training, I would definitely check out planpreparedo.com. Mike Niemark, paramedic, was my instructor. He said there's really not much you can do in a seizure or just ride it out, but the best thing you can do for someone is to comfort them. Rub their back, say, oh, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, which is exactly what I did. So the other person was supporting his head. I was rubbing his arm, rubbing his back, trying to hold his hand, but he didn't really have control of it, saying, look, we're here to help you. Everything's going to be fine. The medics are on the way, etc., etc. And then he came to. This is the important part of the video. He came to. And he was kind of disoriented. I mean, obviously he was disoriented, but all he wanted to do was get up and stand up. He did not feel good. He wanted to stand up. We, for lack of a better term, very gently held him to the ground, telling him, you cannot get up, you cannot get up. Because if he got up and his blood pressure was messed up, he could fall again and re-injure himself. So thank you to Ash, who is the other person who helped. It is very important to get this type of medical training. It's basically a CPR AED certification, and Niemark and his partner Joe Friedman can certainly provide that for you. I highly recommend them. They helped me, I wouldn't say save a life in this case, but provide medical treatment and comfort. Later on, he was taken to the hospital. So what caused this? Well, he was on no medication, no history of anything. He was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And when the paramedics were there, they took his blood sugar, and it was 450, which is an astronomical number. A diabetic blood sugar should be below 120. His was approximately 3.5, 4 times that amount. So in talking to his business partner, they had just come from Superdog, and he had a cheeseburger. Bun has a ton of carbs in it, and a milkshake, which I believe is what may have, and I'm not a medical professional, it may have caused the seizure or contributed to it. He does have a family history of diabetes, and I hope this never happens to him again. I did follow up. He was doing okay in the hospital at the end of the event, conscious, aware of his surroundings, obviously upset because we're human beings. So I will follow up with him during the week just to make sure that he is okay. And that's just my heart. I'm not trying to get business out of it. I'm just trying to see that another person whom I helped is okay. The big announcement that I want to make is that effective May 7th is next week, on WYML.US, which is 99.5, I will be hosting the Personal Safety Show, which is my own show. All the content is from me. I don't have a staff of writers. I am an army of one. Our first episode will feature an interview with one of the survivors/heroes of the Highland Park shooting, and his name is Abraham Avalos. I'm very much looking forward to getting feedback on that. And the radio station is low power. So the tower is in Crystal Lake, and it has a or 5-mile radius. So if you're outside of that radius and would still like to listen, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is at 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. You can stream it at wyml.us. That's wyml.us. And then the day of after the broadcast, I will be posting the broadcast here. It will be audio only. I'll have a picture in it because YouTube, you have to have a visual, but it'll just be a still photo. It's so you can throw it on your phone, listen to it while you're working out, listen to it while you're doing other things. There's no video to watch. So I hope that everyone stays safe out there, and pretty soon I'll see you at the shooting range. Thank you.